Today we are going to discuss wealth building for young professionals. Whether you're just starting your career or looking to enhance your financial future, this video will walk you through various strategies that you can start implementing today. Number 1, understanding your financial situation. Before you can effectively build wealth, it's crucial to understand your current financial situation. Take inventory of your income, including your salary, your bonuses, and any other sources of income that you may have. Take note of net income versus gross income. We want to look at the money that's actually hitting your pocket each and every month. Track your expenses meticulously to understand where your money is going each and every month. Calculate your debts, including student loans, credit card debt, and any other outstanding debt that you may have. When calculating your expenses, it may be smart to also break them into fixed versus variable expenses. And finally, look at your assets, such as savings accounts, investments, and retirement funds. Once you have a clear picture of your income and your expenses, create a detailed budget that outlines everything. Use budgeting apps or spreadsheets to track your spending habits and identify areas where you can cut back. You should review your financial statements to stay informed about your debt balances and net worth on a regular basis. Consider using financial management tools or consulting with a financial advisor to gain a deeper understanding and insight into your overall financial situation. Number 2, establishing financial goals. Setting clear financial goals provides direction and motivation for your wealth building journey. Start by identifying both short-term and long-term goals that you have. Short-term goals could include things like building an emergency fund, paying off high-interest debt, or saving for a vacation. Now, long-term goals might be things like purchasing a home, funding your children's education, or retiring comfortably. Make sure your goals are SMART. That is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We love SMART goals here. Write down your goals and prioritize them based on the importance and the urgency of each goal. Break down larger goals into smaller milestones to make them more manageable. And when you achieve those small milestones, remember to celebrate that. That's a great small goal to have. And again, regularly review and adjust your goals as your financial situation changes and evolves. Number 3, building an emergency fund. An emergency fund acts as a financial safety net, providing a cushion to cover unexpected expenses such as medical bills, car repairs, or job loss. Now, see, without an emergency fund, you may be forced to rely on credit cards or loans. The negative to that is it can lead to extreme debt accumulation. And not just debt accumulation. That's not the only thing we're worried about. What we're worried about more specifically is the interest rate associated with that debt that you're taking on. Typically, credit cards have the highest interest rate. Therefore, that debt or that emergency is going to cost you significantly more than it may otherwise cost you if you had that emergency fund. So, as a general rule of thumb, again, generally, aim to save enough to cover 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Start small if necessary, but make consistent contributions to your emergency fund over time. Consider automating transfers from your checking account into a savings account to make that easier. Keep your emergency fund in a separate account from your regular savings account to avoid the temptation of tapping into that emergency fund. Number 4, investing for your future. Investing is an essential part of long-term wealth accumulation, as it allows for money to grow over time through compound interest. So while it's natural to be cautious about investing, especially early on in your career, starting early can significantly impact your overall financial future. So let's go over a quick hypothetical example of what compound interest can do for you. Again, this is hypothetical, but here we go. So let's assume that you take an initial balance, an initial contribution of $10,000 with an annual savings amount of $1,000. Assuming a 9.74% annual rate of return, your $10,000 beginning balance plus annual contributions plus compound interest would equate to $125,193 over a 20-year period. So here it is broken out. Beginning balance, again, initial contribution is $10,000. Contributions over 20 years, that is $1,000 per year, that's $20,000 in total. And your compound interest makes up $95,193. Added together, that gives you the $125,193 that we just talked about. So now let's use these same numbers, but let's assume that you can increase your annual contributions from $1,000 to $5,000. Your ending balance would be $369,303 over 20 years, as opposed to $125,193 if you had just stuck with that annual contribution of $1,000. So this is simply the power of compound interest. Again, it is just a hypothetical example for illustrative purposes, but it really shows you what compound interest can do for you. So think about investing for your future. Educate yourself about the different available investment options. That is stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and exchange-traded funds, just to name a few. Consider opening tax-advantaged retirement accounts like IRAs or a 401k. And maximize your contributions to maximize overall growth. Start with small contributions if necessary and increase them over time. Diversify your investment portfolio to spread risk and maximize returns, subject to your risk tolerances and timeline. Number 5, manage your debt wisely. Debt alone, if not the biggest, can be a significant obstacle in building wealth, especially long-term, if it's not managed properly. High-interest debt, such as credit card debt, can quickly spiral out of control and hinder your financial progress. As it relates to debt, high-interest rate debt, it's important to consider things like, 1, can you afford it? Just flat out, can you afford the debt that you're going to carry? Number 2, monthly payment. So of that payment that you're making, how much is interest and how much is principal? Number 3, the opportunity cost of having that debt. Could you invest it in other things, or are you missing out on various opportunities because instead of capturing that opportunity, you're spending your money on paying off high interest debt? And finally, the added psychological stress of just knowing that you are up to potentially your eyeballs in debt with no clear way of paying it off. So as you think about your debt, think about prioritizing paying off that high interest rate debt first. Why? Well, it accrues the most interest, and therefore it's probably the most advantageous to pay off that debt first. Consider strategies like the debt avalanche method, which is paying off that high interest rate debt, or the debt snowball method. That is, pay off your smallest debt obligations first and work your way up to the highest debt obligation, rates aside. Negotiate, if you can, with creditors to lower your interest rate, or explore debt consolidation options if you have multiple high interest rate debts. Avoid taking on new debt whenever possible, and focus on living within your means. Number 6, continuously educate yourself. The world of personal finance is complex and ever-changing, so it's essential to stay informed and educated about financial matters. So make it a habit of reading books, reading articles, and reading blogs. Listen to reputable financial professionals for valuable insights and tips. You can always check out our blog on our website. Just visit CaruthersRockwell.com. There should be a link right here. And additionally, check out this YouTube channel as we post what we think is insightful content that can help you in your finance journey. Building wealth really doesn't need to be complicated. Like anything, start small and just make it a habit. Eventually, it'll start to compound. Remember, Building wealth is a journey. It's really not a destination. Start today, stay disciplined, and watch your financial future flourish. Again, my name is Zach Carruthers. My goal here is to empower individuals like yourself to embrace financial confidence and unlock the path to a life truly well lived. Guys, thank you so much. My contact info is in the next screen. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. As always, until next time, thank you.